safe and sound. No one around, say the word and we'll go. But baby, we'll fall. We all go dancing down, and paradise is found. We're shaking up the ground, 'cause there ain't no stopping love. So there ain't no stopping love. No, there ain't no stopping love. There ain't no stopping
One life like this. Let's live it up. Clap your hands. We only get one life like this. Let's live it up. Clap your hands.
evening, one and all, and welcome to the RSC EU Season 12, Week 9. It is the penultimate stream of this week, and it is the penultimate week, well, actually it's the ultimate week, of League Play, because it is Week 9. The final series are being played by all of the teams throughout the divisions, and my name is Vector, alongside me, So Win a Lot. It's been a while since we've been in the booth together. You've just informed me and B-Shake that you've been to Italy recently, So Win a Lot, so you've come all the way back here to the RSC to help us out in the final week. And looking at some of these matches, we've got a couple of elite tier matches, a master one at the end as well. It's looking mighty entertaining.
Yeah, I can't wait to be back casting with you guys, and it's an honor for my first one to be back to be with you, my friend. Absolutely. But yeah, I went to Europe to see you guys, couldn't find anyone, so came back and started casting again. But I cannot wait to see these guys to get going here. It's going to be some amazing Rocket League as always from this channel, and I'm thinking we're going to be in for some tight games.
Yeah, I think there's a few Italian denizens in the RSC, but they're a low number, unfortunately. But fortunately, we do have, as you said, some great matchups on the docket tonight. The first of which, as I said, will be in the elite tier. Anju versus Profit, 6th versus 7th. A play-in struggle, with one side glaring down as the other reaches up. Ox Gaming's Anju are digging in their heels, flaring their nostrils, and sharpening their horns in preparation for the Visionaries' Profits' attempt to foresee a future in which they move on to the postseason and secure a shot at fame and glory. It would have to come at the cost of Anju's own hopes of competing beyond league play, and I should imagine they are in no kind of mood to give it up easily, so Win a Lot. This should be a serious matchup.
Yeah, you can always see when the stats are close that usually the end game results are close. But the one thing that we have that is an X factor here is that you said it is a play-in struggle, and a struggle it will be. No free points when the play-ins and the knockouts are what matter, and it's going to be that type of vibe here tonight. And that's what we really sign up for, though. That's what we want to see, and we want the players to feel the pressure so we feel the excitement, and I can't wait.
Speaking of free points, looking at Profits going into this series, they played Fearless Bravo last night and they got robbed, a full-on 4-0 sweep. Unceremonious in the final week, and it's given them a very, very difficult situation here in which they pretty much have to sweep to have any chance of the postseason. Going up against Anju, I did the maths, I looked at the numbers. They are currently down on heads-ahead, 3-1. Anju beat them in week 5, and the goal difference is currently +3 to Anju. So if they do end up 3-1 in here, Profits, they would need to score at least 4 goals. Well, 3 goals technically to match it up, but 4 goals more than their opponents would be preferable, or just a straight-on sweep. It is a simple match in that regard. They just need to win every single game, and then everything depends on other results. Serena Zucchi are right behind Profits, just 4 games back, but they've got both series in hand as well. The only uptick for that, the silver lining, is that Serena Zucchi have lost both of their prior series. Profits losing this one, Anju, this is their first series of the week, so it is crucially important that Profits get a sweep here, and then hope that later on, I believe it's Bladesmiths, tomorrow they play Bladesmiths, right above Anju, in fact. So it's a very tight, tense situation here in the middle of the Elite Glacis Conference, 5, 6, and 7, all facing each other in the final week. It's wonderful to see, and I just can't wait to get these players on the field, see what they're capable of, and bring us some entertaining RSC action, because I just want to thank everybody that's here. You know, you've made the right decision. We all know it's no secret. Yes. The RLCS is on right now. The Boston Major is happening. But you're here with us, watching the RSC, the better Rocket League. So we're not.
Well, absolutely. And I know you and I had to turn down some gigs for RLCS to be here, and I wouldn't have it any other way. There's a lot of stats that are going to be thrown at us here, but the main one is that sweep has to happen today, isn't it?
Without a doubt. And something that may make that more difficult than it would have been otherwise, something to throw a wrench in the works, is the fact that the GM of this franchise, of Visionaries, Hunter Sam, is subbing up from the rival team up into Elite. A big surprise going into this series, considering it's their final series of league play, one that they absolutely must sweep to have the greatest chance, the best chance that they could possibly have of getting out of the regular season, and they can't even field a full Elite roster. The opposite side, however, Anju, on Ox Gaming, they have Trax, they have Keza, they have Kaldi, the 3 highest CMV players on this roster as Hunter Sam attempts to salvage the first attempt for Profits there with a double tap, but Andrew got the better run of things here. They have the better looking team. They have some incredible players on the field as well. There's 3 trophy holding players on this field. Trax is the current defending elite champion. He won it with Chrome Research last season, and he knows how to be a victor, but they're in dire straits right now in 6th. Can Profits push forward and take that place away from them?
Well, what they're going to be looking to do here is definitely don't give up any easy goals to begin with. You've got to be rock solid from the offensive end all the way back to the defensive end. But what I'm looking at here is boost control. They seem to have had boost almost the entire game, and they're not really be able to connecting those passes out of their end. So they are getting a bit trapped in there. We're going to see how that ends up for the rest of the game. That's a great dunk by Jay to keep that in here. Here comes Hunter again. It's going to be up and down. Does Jay have time to turn on this? It's not going to be in time here. It's going to be met by him in the corner. There is some never-ending pressure here. You got to wonder what's going to separate these two teams then.
They were struggling to break out of the trap for a while. They still can't. It's J Hills with a free chance. Somehow Keza reads this ball. Trax is quite low in the tank and has had to pull his teammate off the backboard to help him out there. Still more pressure, as you said. They barely left their half, Andrew. So surprised to see, considering that Profits aren't fielding a full elite level team. But they're holding their own right now as a ball to the midfield will be awkward to deal with for J Hills, but holds his nerve, gets it off the ceiling as well. A demo in the mid does open up space for Profits. Still on their back line here. Andrew have broken out here in the 2nd minute of this 5-minute game. First game of 4, if you're unaware. Sets of 4. And Hunter Sam will be there to finish it off. Oh my goodness, I wasn't even expecting this one. I genuinely didn't see this coming. It's a 1-2-3 passing play, in fact, but it was just so slow. I didn't expect it.
Oh, death by 1,000 cuts there. I agree. That was not the fastest attack, but it didn't look threatening, and then it was.
Sometimes they can be the most deadly. The unexpected plays. And you definitely know all about that now, I'm sure. You said it yourself at the start. No easy goals, no cheap goals. It's now halfway through the game. Was that a cheap one, or was that just great passing from Profits?
You know, you got to look at both of those scenarios and be like, hey, it was good passing, but it was stoppable for sure. But to connect like that is amazing. But they got to be able to. They got to be able to stop those passing plays.
Oh no!
It's 1-1. Trax cleans up the garbage.
Speaking of cheap goals, we see one right down the other end as J Hills attempts to link up with his GM, and it ends up going behind him. Hunter can't react in time. Trax sees the blood in the water, goes swimming across for it, and sends it into the back of the orange net, or whatever color it is. I've got a default of blue and orange. It is custom on the stream, of course. Whatever their franchise color is, it's broken the net and it's equalized the game as Connor looks to get up to this one. J Hills will find it first. Trax just going to send it straight down the field, and Hunter Sam, I should imagine, not used to this pace and the decision making in an elite level lobby. He finds his brace past the GM, and it's just an unfortunate one to concede, especially considering they got the equalizer not long ago.
Yeah, to watch Hunter Sam score at one end and then really be the cause of 2 goals at the other, just was too far up as third man there. You gotta wonder if the nerves are starting to play with them, but they got 2 minutes left and they're only down 1. Anything can happen in Rocket League. That's why we love it. That's what we're gonna hope happens, really, from a unbiased perspective. But we're gonna see if they can score. Here's a great chance, a great save and a demo. Oh my goodness! All at once there, and I cannot believe I'm gonna say this, but I think they got a shot.
Still a fragile lead at 1-0, 2-1. Essentially a 1-0 as Trax looking for his hat trick. Have to leave it for Keza, who gets demolitioned out of the play. Trax maybe can get a double tap here. Opts to leave it for Cal D, who just about gets a nick on it, but Connor was ready, trying to send it back down the field as well. The outlet play is going to be J Hills to take a touch. Trax was far too patient with that one, and fortunately for him, Connor fluffs his lines. J Hills to try and put it back into the danger area, just about kept off the post. Hunter Sam came, hunted that one down, but it wasn't enough. Final minute, can Andrew consolidate this lead, get one more on the board, be a little bit more safe, or will Profits rue the day and try and get something back forward off the play here, because they just seem to be struggling so much getting out of their own half. The amount of saves they have is so high. They need something new here.
Well, that was almost something new. What a great touch by Jay, but we have to admit here, they are playing terrible. this game really came down to 2 mistakes, and it looks like with 30 seconds left, oh my goodness, that would have been a horse of a different color, but here we go, 30 seconds left for real this time, and they are pushing and pushing. It almost feels like this game's got more to give, like they are going to score something.
Well, 20 seconds left, goal down, defense is an afterthought. It's Keza will chase this one down through the corner. Jails to pick it up first, has the option on the side, but he kind of messes up his aerial, can't get off the ceiling well enough as Connor just pumps it straight back down the midfield. They've got to get it down as quickly as they can. They're going to be beaten by Trax here. It's going to get back down the field. Connor's way too far across the field, and Caldi with the control, probably just going to spike it off the wall. It is kept alive. Can they keep it up? No, they can't. All 3 players within 2 meters of each other, and none of them can keep it up off the ground, give themselves a chance at an overtime. Anju take game 1. Maybe not as convincingly as many people might have thought. I mean, we're saying this just based on, I think, recent results, Profits coming off a sweep. Anju on a 3-win streak as well. Forgot to mention that one. Anju have already beaten Profits this season. It looked like all the signs were pointing to Anju taking this series more comfortably maybe than this game suggested, but they are right next to each other in the table. They're only like 3 games apart, now 4 games technically, and Profits in such a much more difficult position, as they do still have a chance. I see Jails in the team chat there saying, well, we go for clips now. Not necessarily. There still is a possibility if they manage to beat Anju here in a 3-1 and get at least 5 goals ahead of them. They're only on a +4 goal difference right now, Anju. Then they still have a chance. I don't think they should necessarily throw in the towel and just go for highlight plays. They still have the ability to look towards the postseason. As unlikely as it is, Anju could get swept in the next series.
Yeah, what you got to look at there is you want to have a strong showing out just in case, because wouldn't that hurt if you just went for clips and you would have, should have. But we do find them to be in a difficult position, and I wouldn't mind a few amazing clips, though, I will say. If they can do that and win, that would be quite amazing as the countdown begins. We're at my favorite map. Here we go.
Perhaps that's the way forward. Highlight plays. And you're not expecting, of course. I don't imagine they'll necessarily be risking too much to go for that. Want to maintain solid team play and rotation. Make sure that Anju don't beat them by any more than a single goal. Give them the greatest chance. We find ourselves on Forbidden Temple, game 2. And Profits literally right on the brink. Should they lose this game, their season is over. Should they find a way back? There is hope.
Oh my goodness.
It's dashed against the rocks. Caldi will end up taking the plaudits for this one. I thought actually Trax might have got, Keza even might have got a touch on that to justify it, but I think it was a fake down. I think it was Jails at the end, go fly past the ball. I apologize if not, but it has led to Anju opening the scoring and a lead. 30 seconds in, not looking positive.
Nope, but, you know, it was kind of a nice play, and here they go again. This could be in. What a great read by J Hills. Made that look a lot easier than it is. Really well done, but you're right. It was just a bit of an awkward play. It looked like almost like a dummy into the net. Like, he faked the ball, he's let it roll, and no one was really ready for that. He'll say that was on purpose, but we'll never know.
Everything is intentional, except until it's not. You know, when you say a post play, that it was just a fake. It wasn't a whiff. Don't worry about it. As Hunter Sam could make Keza worry here. Ends up landing on the ball for a double save, essentially, there. He had to go for the first attempt as well. Keeps it at bay. Keeps the lead intact. A double commit from Hunter Sam and Kono. It's gone nowhere, but straight into Keza, but he hits the crossbar. And it doesn't bounce favorably. A golden opportunity to double their lead. Chance spurned, and could be a window of opportunity for Profits to get back into this one.
He was not even able to move in the net after. He was so distraught with himself, and it's in. Hunter Sam, the only player to score. I think Keza was just so distraught that he was that he had missed that open net. He hasn't moved. He hasn't moved.
Took his hands off the wheel.
He did. He said, God, take the wheel. And then Hunter Sam said, Hunter Sam is my name, not God. That will suffice. And he scores. It's 1-1.
Equal game, equal opportunity here for Profits to get back into it. They're going to need a lot more goals, a lot more time on offense to give us the belief, possibility of postseason. participation for them as Jay Hills to follow it up. He gets 50'd out. Keza attempts to get the ball away. Will be dissuaded from that as Connor up on his own to the backboard. Someone's already waiting there. Easy enough to clear out for Andrew to get back down the field. Keza with control, but Jay Hills to beat. Caldi is right there. Keza looking to pass. It's a double play because Connor can't quite read the backboard well enough. He does, in fact, get a touch there. Was left in an awkward position as the last man. And does valiantly to keep this equal game intact. Halfway through it, do you see either side taking this in a strong situation? So win a lot, or will it just be another one-goal game?
It's tough to say right now. Like, the big thing that separates the elite players from the not elite players is they don't make these god-awful mistakes, bang, like that, where you whiff and you end up with one in the back of your net. What an amazing goal that is. But are you starting to see that from our boys on the other side here, down 2-1? You're starting to see it a bit more from Andrew, a little bit more here, that they're starting to capitalize. But what can you do about that? It might just be a pace of play difference, right?
There's potential there as we kept positing. Hunter Sam subbing up from Rival, not used to the pace of Elite, not used to the chaos, the unpredictability of it. I certainly haven't been this season, and I got dropped from Master. It's crazy down here. This division is absolutely wild, Wild West, and I think that's just about making things difficult for Profits to adjust to here, at least for Hunter Sam's sake. As we saw Caldi bag his brace, giving Keza some lessons in shooting accuracy. But he got the assist for it, so I'm sure he's happy about that as he takes this to the sky. Will hit the wall, get the double tap, but Connor reads it well. Caldi find the ball first, will look for tracks, doesn't quite get the touch they wanted, and Profits should have a little bit of time to break out, but they only throw it to the wall. And possession is something I think Profits have been struggling with, especially these double commits aren't working. Connor's right there to get the bump, but Hunter Sam just throws it away. Poor decision making is ruining their chances before they even materialize.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is you've got to want to keep that ball.
I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about because Hunter Sam
scores again, and there are strategies to play without the ball in this game. Hey, we don't think they're good with possession, so let's hit it into their corner and let's just pick off their passes coming out. Yep, you can play that way, absolutely. But you cannot be giving up easy goals at the other end while playing like that, because it is only 2-2 now, and Hunter Sam has scored every goal for these guys.
Yeah, despite his position at the top of the scoreboard, it's hard to say whether or not he's been the best player, because goals give you 100 points at the top of the scoreboard. Because of that, he'd have 186 otherwise. Would still be higher than Jails, to be fair. No offense to Jails there, calling him out, but it is a team effort, and they've managed to bring it back to an equal game here in the final minute. It was, I believe, in the final minute that they ended up losing, or was it? I think they conceded halfway through the game or something like that. They just could not bring it back. But they managed to do so here in the final 30 seconds. There is hope on the horizon. Can the Profits ordain this? Bring it into their remit. Hunter Sam will be 50'd out. Caldi sent to the backboard. J Hills has enough boost. They're probably playing for the overtime here. Don't want to risk throwing it back down the field and not necessarily getting the best of it, as a woeful pass, a wayward pass, ends up sending it back to Caldi. He's going to be there to pass it across. Hunter Sam expecting a shot. Keza keeps it off the ground for a mere moment. We do have the OT we were expecting at 2-2. I don't know if Profits have got this one.
I don't know if Hunter Sam has anything to bet. You almost think he's going to get his hat trick.
Connor trying to get it past Keza, ends up hitting the ball again. Might have not been the best decision, but it does allow Jails to send it to the opposite corner. Gets back to the ball as well, has the boost, gets disrupted away, taking it away from Hunter Sam. The communication isn't quite there. And now they're back down the wrong side of the field. Tracks with a little bit of time. Connor with an incredible 50 over Keza, maybe? No, he gets the boost. Hunter Sam with a free shot, but he passes it down to Jails with a rapid shot across. Ends up hurtling it at Mach 3. Off the defender into the corner. They get unlucky. A wide open net for Connor. A demo should be opening up as Profits take game 2. It 46 seconds into overtime. There's a chance.
What a play.
There is a chance. Every single game they are on the threshold. They are teetering over the edge. And Connor has given them a lifeline, a rope to hang on to. Oh my goodness, what a finish. I mean, Andrew just fell apart at times there. It really confused me. Their rotation through the midfield was uncharacteristic. I'm glad the game ended in just 1 goal again, but I'm surprised at this result.
Hey, that's Rocket League sometimes. The better team doesn't win every game. That's for sure. That's just something that you have to accept when you play Rocket League. But that being said, Hunter Sam with the demo in overtime there to give the free goal. Hunter Sam had a very good game this game. He was very timely. Didn't really make mistakes on the defense this time, and they find themselves tied in the series now. Love to see it for that kid.
Tracks there with just over 100 points. A lackluster showing.
Yeah,
so
different game for him this one. Yeah.
For the defending champion here, completely different roster. Of course, he was as I said with Chrome Research resident last season. Moved to Ox Gaming, and I wouldn't say they're necessarily fighting for their lives. They do have a series in hand. It is against a team directly above them, and should they lose these next 2 games, then there's a lot more pressure on their shoulders to perform in that next series. But Profits now currently on -4 goal difference compared to Anjou. They need a lot more goals, as I said, to beat them in the tiebreaker. They will need both of them. The head-to-head, they'll be tied on 3-1 should they win this series, and they will need to beat them on goal difference in the head-to-head. If they shouldn't, then all of this will be for naught. It will be unfortunate to see for Profits, but there is an avenue, there is a road to travel to take them to the postseason. Should fortune favor them, as a pass across to Kono is going to be there. J Hills to find it, but Caldi somehow gets back in time to absolutely bounce that off the bonnet of I believe that was J Hills. They keep it even here in the early game, and that's something they've struggled with throughout this series, so good to see for them.
Yeah, and it's almost as if Hunter Sam, I'm becoming obsessed with his gameplay. He's a bit chaotic, but he's kind of clearing some avenues for his teammates here, and he's picking up goals at the same time, and he seems to have just figured out how to rotate to be 3rd man at this pace, because he's rotating back there. Very nice. Now look at this. He's there. He's making saves. We might have a game. We might have a series. We might have a play-in on our hands right now.
Certainly have a series at 1-1. And it's gone down to the wire, as you might expect from 2 teams placed right next to each other in the table. Caldi will have to deal with this short shot from Connor in the corner. Into Sam. Doesn't quite make the best touch there. It's dropped straight back to Keza, and that's a slow roller. It's kept out!
I saw it!
I was resigned to the belief that was a Anjou 1-0 lead, but I was proven wrong by J Hills there. He believed he could get to it, kept it off the line, off the post, and it's still a tie game somehow.
The gods are shining down right now. You can almost feel that one team is definitely blessed with luck, and another team is definitely blessed with skill. This has got to be in. It is.
There it is. Trax making up for his
yes.
Uncharacteristic performance from the last game. We'll open the scoring here for Anjou, but it took a bit of a struggle. 4 shots, or 3 shots for him personally, to finally get it over the line, and Profits just couldn't hold on long enough. Good kickoff does give them a chance here. Caldi as well to kick it back down the field. Kono with some space after the demo. J Hills will be up to find it, but not the trajectory he was expecting. It's put straight back into the danger area. Caldi and Trax pinch it off their own corner post to get it back through. Can't find the counter attack, however. Kono looking for some special attempt there. Would have been a beautiful finish, but to no avail.
Yeah, that would have been.
Tries to get it over the goal line. To Sam to deal with it. Kono on the outlet. Kind of just throws it away to Trax. He does the same to J Hills through the corner. Can he get a double tap? Yes, he can. Past the first defender. Keza is awkward. It's going to bounce so awfully there for Anjou's defense, but they get away with it. Somehow they manage to maintain this fragile lead, and it is just complete back and forth. There's very little consistent pressure from either side. They spend 20-30 seconds in one side, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty much one pretty nice chance at one end, and then they go down and they exchange. A nice chance again, a good reset. Oh, just doesn't get that to go in the right corner there, but this could be reconnected back into the other end. Going for the clips here, it looks like they're 1 goal away from this, but it doesn't feel like it, does it? These games have been tight, but it almost feels like the pressure is just mounting for these guys.
Certainly should be for profit's sake. Every
There they
single
go,
second
though.
that ticks away is less of a chance. It's popped down, does
Wow.
finally find its way through. Hunter Sam with his third goal of the series. A 1-2 passing play as well. Connor does well to put this to the backboard, probably aiming for the net initially, but it actually ends up being more effective to send it to the backboard, confuse the defenders, and allow his teammate to send it into the back of the net. An equal game once more, continuing to be as tight as ever. Control is, well, I want to say lacking for both sides, but they're doing well to keep it out of each other's hands, making sure they're challenging well at the right times, but they're maintaining their boost pathing as well, so they're not constantly out of it. Got the rotation down, positioning down as well. Two teams that know each other by this point, and it just does come down to a modicum of ability, of skill, of magic. Jay Hills opens the scoring.
He couldn't get there. Look, he's
For
trying to get
himself.
up, and Jay Hills gets there so much faster. So well done. Oh, that's good speed. And that's actually the first time that someone has scored in regulation time in this series besides Hunter Sam. So this is looking to be a team effort now, and they might just make this happen.
Trax gets denied in the air. Caldi to pick it up.
Here we go.
Only throw it to the middle. Jay Hills and Connor both upfield! And they could have collided with one another in midair there, but it ends up going well as Hunter Sam links up with Jay Hills, pops it down. Beautiful effort there. And a fantastic finish to, I believe, take the first 2-goal lead of this series. Comes at the hands of the Profits. Jay Hills got 2 goals, still bottom of the team. I think that just shows you how well they're playing right now. And this is huge for them. Maintain this lead if you can. Never mind, of course, Caldi opens it up pretty much off kickoff. Brings it back to 1 within a minute. This could go very, very well for Profits, or very, very awfully. It's the same scoreline as it ended in the overtime last game. I'm wondering if the same thing's gonna happen.
Well, you gotta wonder if they're thinking it too, right? It's hard not to let those intrusive thoughts, negative intrusive
Hills.
thoughts get in
No
your mind.
way.
Oh, what a save! But the second is also saved by Trax. Who is this guy? What a great play! That's absolutely amazing. I thought Jay Hills for sure was gonna have that one pinned. He actually got it low. How do you read that? I don't know. He just got a good jump on it. And here comes Keza for the double.
Oof.
Oh, what a save that is! Still 3-2, 30 seconds left. This is starting to get Benitez. Oh, Hunter Sam misses. Those are the mistakes he wants to stay away from for sure. But here he goes back over to the side wall. He's going to need some help with Jay Hills. He's going to be in the corner. He does well. It's off the back wall, though. Another back wall hit. Oh, Hunter Sam beats him there, but it's still off the back wall. Now they're going to
no.
only in the middle. It's in. Oh, my goodness.
He could not hold on. Hunter Sam puts it to his own backboard, and then you had the clear. It was right there in the palm of your hand, and he scuffed it.
What a gift.
Allowed them back into the room. Andrew equalized with 15 seconds left to go. They don't quite win the kickoff. Caldi has time in the air. No one's up to challenge just yet. Has the aerial over 1. Will it be over 2? He's going to hit the crossbar, but he pulled up 2 defenders. Trax can take his time. Fakes out both! 2 seconds left. Lead taken for Anju. Profits are on their final life. They could not allow this to happen, but it has.
I know, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. He has not only faked the entire lobby, he has faked our emotions. We thought we were going to overtime. No, they come down from an unsightly 3-1 lead with what? With what? 30 seconds left? 25 seconds left? They were down 3-1?
And
Oh my
Anju
goodness.
silence the prophets. They destroy the prophecy. And they go quiet into that good nights. This visionary elite side, their season has been decided. They now mathematically cannot get to 6th place, as the team right above them has just stomped them back down into the ground. They gave them hope to win a lot. They gave them a belief. They took a 2-goal lead, 3-1. This is, by all rights, by all means, I don't like using the word choke, but it evokes that emotion, evokes that feeling. They had the opportunity and they just let it slip. Andrew happy, of course, to be getting more games above their opponents, as they themselves want to get into a better position for the play-ins. And
Well,
it's just it's sad to see, but
they will tell you that they'll be the first. Those guys will be the first one to tell you that yeah, they did. They choked that game for sure. They didn't lock it down, and that's all it was. They can hang their heads high knowing that they were right on the brink, but that is a tough pill to swallow, isn't it?
without a doubt. And unfortunately for them, despite the fact they're swallowing the pill, the illness will not be cured.
No.
It is terminal. They have been knocked out of any chance of the postseason. This final game is just for kicks, just for fun. This is where I expect to see the highlight plays coming out. I'm glad they've not just called it off, that they've not just forfeited it. It's great sportsmanship, great honor from this visionary side that fought to the very last and could not quite manage it. But that's just the nature of competition. So win a lot, most people lose. And
well, at least 50% of them.
Oh, at the cost of it. In individual series, yeah. In the end, eventually everybody but one loses.
Yes.
In the playoffs. No. As they do get one goal here early on. Anju, his Profits defense, I'm sure not nearly as strong as it will have been throughout the rest of the series. I mean, it wasn't that strong to begin with anyway. Obviously, they conceded quite a few goals, but they held it close. They kept it very close, and at this point, there's, I imagine, very little fight left. They're just playing for the hell of it.
Yeah, and they did create some panic on the other side as well. You could tell. And they're up 3-1, and there's 30 seconds left. What do you do there? What a great little flick on there. I love to see that. Those are some of the cutest plays in Rocket League right here. We'll take another look at this before I ask you that question. But like, he coming back out of his net, little redirect, beautiful. I love that. I do. But what do you're up 3-1 here, okay? Let's say you're up 3-1. There's 30 seconds left, and you need this win. Do you play more aggressively, or do you just put 3 people in net?
Are you speaking from Profits' perspective or Andrew's?
You're up 3-1, so Profits' perspective.
Well, obviously, it's how you got there is the way you want to play. I think they had great control of the midfield, and they made sure they didn't give the ball away too often. We said it before on Forbidden Temple, where they were just throwing opportunities away. When they had space, they just hit the ball into the wall or something like that, instead of planning ahead of what they actually wanted to do, visualizing what they were attempting to do. And they just, I think, maybe got a little bit too concerned about being in the lead. Pressure is a unique kind of pressure, being in the lead, having control, because you know that holding on to it is paramount, and it just kind of seeps into your head that you're thinking, okay, we need to play a certain way or get more defensive, especially, and sometimes that can be a detriment. If you're good at offense, then it could be your best amount of defense. So I think that's what they struggle with, and we'll never know exactly what it is, what happened in the VC, what happened in the individual psychologies, shall we say.
Yes.
But, history has been written, and it's continuing to be here for Anju's sake. The first 3-goal lead, I believe, of this entire series. It's no surprise it's gone the Ox Gaming's way as they look to close out this series in a 3-1. I'm sure they would have wanted a sweep, but they're not quite secured technically, I believe, in that 6th place. Considering this result, they'll be a lot more well-positioned. Serena Zucchi were quite close. They were 4 games behind Profits themselves, so maybe not. Serena Zucchi had 8 games to play. I think Anju just about get to 35, so they'll be 10 goals ahead. They'll be 10 games ahead even of Serena Zucchi. I think they've guaranteed it that they're safe now, and they're just adding goals to it. They're just padding the stats and making up highlight plays.
At this point, yeah. I think the lady's singing here, and she's saying a couple of different verses, but you do want one, don't you? If you're Profits, you want 1 goal here. You want to go for a clip or something. You want something a little special. I think that'd be more than doable.
You never want to be clean shut out. I mean, Profits have been valiant this entire series. The first 3 games all came down to 1 goal. There were 2 overtimes.
Yeah.
It's actually no, there weren't. That's the second to last game.
Oh yeah,
just
they didn't go to overtime.
It was
somehow
2 seconds
they won in
left.
regulation. Yeah.
I was convinced. I don't know. I edited history there to try and make it an overtime. Oh my goodness, J Hills with a double save somehow keeps those 2 out. It's all for naught, but it was beautiful. Yeah, going back to the point, Profits, they definitely want to get at least one on the board here. Save some of their pride. Definitely earned it. They pushed Anju to the brink, but it just wasn't quite enough as Connell trying to take it off the side wall. Kaldi's already there to try and hit Keza, puts it a little too far forward. J-Hills has to dive on it. And they're just faking out here, maybe looking for the pinch. Didn't quite work, but
Nice idea,
it's
though.
sad to talk about this now, because obviously Anju pretty much won this one. It's in the bag unless Profits come out with something insane.
No, it's this is just how it is. This is how sports. This is how competitive sports go. It's the same thing with Rocket League. It's always like this. It's more of a victory lap here than anything else. But we would love to see a little something from these guys. There you go. Hunter Sam ends off how he started with a goal.
Player GM stepping up. We'll never know, I imagine, the reason as to why Profits couldn't field their full roster, why Echo couldn't play with Jenga Benga was unavailable. But,
That
Hunter
hurts.
Sam,
Yeah, but Hunter Sam's played well.
yeah, stepped up when many others wouldn't. I imagine they maybe probably went to get an FA sub in the elite tier before going to Hunter Sam. Maybe not. Maybe they just thought they didn't have much of a chance in this final series, and Sam wanted to get some more elite experience under his belt. I think he mentioned on Forbidden Temple that his 100% shooting record in elite was broken because he didn't score from one of his shots, which is unfortunate to see. But it'd be one of the highest in the tier, I should imagine, after this amount of goals, and is played exceptionally well. Considering the circumstances that Profits were in going into this series, it was do or die. And they held on to the last, and he could get a second here as it's popped high. He's going to try and get the reset, but to no avail. Trax will deal with it. He's got no mercy for this team, and I don't knock him for that. You know, they're in a situation where they need to prove to teams above them that they've got more than their position in the table suggests. They need to start scaring those play-ins teams above them.
That important thing, the mental factor of that is huge. But, you know, you look forward to the next rotational game, and you have to think, Hunter Sam scored a lot of goals today, but was there anything on the other end of the field that he was causing this team issues with? And you can look at the first game and be like, hey, he did give up 2 goals, even though he scored 1. You'd rather not give up 2 goals than score 1, right? So it's a tough situation in threes. There's so many little factors that play in threes that you have to be aware of that don't show up on the scorecard, that it's tough to choose an MVP based off points,
It certainly is. Thankfully for us, that job is taken care of. So win a lot with our brand new overlay. We will have the series stats and eventually the series MVP. But going back to it, Profits, commendable, honourable attempt there. First 3 games, they kept it close. They kept us guessing. They took the first game. It was just, it wasn't quite enough in the end for the strength of Profits we see here from the post-series stats. 13 goals to 8, or over 11 shots, in fact, more for Anju's side. The similar amount of demos and ball possession, so you can clearly see it was close. Profits actually had more field domination. They spent more time in Anju's half than the opposite. It was just their efficacy in front of goal. Their offense wasn't quite good enough to beat Anju, and it's unfortunate to see. But that is the nature of the beast. Anju move forward, secure their spot in the play-ins. Unfortunate for Serena Zucchi, considering they've got 2 series to play this week with nothing to play for. But that is just how it goes. Coming up, is that who you expected it to be? So win a lot, Caldi. Is that well deserved?
You know what? Kind of hard to not say it was him. I mean, like, he was everywhere. He made timely saves, had some timely goals, and was the most consistent every game. Didn't even have one bad game, for sure. Did not have one bad game. So I gotta give it to him.
Yeah, 2,000 score. I think that's around a 300-400 average for each game. Well, technically 500 average, obviously, because it's 4 games.
4 games.
500 points each, and 5 goals. Doesn't seem like a lot, but they were important, and obviously it was a team effort all around. They had some incredible contributions between one another. We saw that. Was it the 1-2-3 passing play? No, that was for Profits, not Anju. I was getting confused with the colors because I thought Anju would be on the orange side, Profits on the the blue
That was
side. That
rough.
makes sense in my head, and it threw me
Yes.
off. But it is what it is. Anju take it at the end of the season. They still have one series left to play, of course. That will be against Bladesmiths tomorrow night. And based on that result, they currently are ahead of Bladesmiths by 1 game. So they are in a good position there. They cannot, I believe, mathematically get up to 4th place. I may be wrong on that one, though Deception do have another match in hand. So it's unlikely they break out of 5th spot. That is probably the highest that they can get. But they'll be glad about it. They'll be glad that they've clutched it out at the end of the season. And of course, commiserations to Profits. That's a 2-loss streak for them in the final week. And Anju continue their march up the table. And it was fairly entertaining throughout most of it. Obviously, the final game was just a wash. It was a nothing game. Still glad Profits got a goal in the end. But for the rest of the series, a thoroughly convincing performance from Anju. I think just taking it, and I can't wait to see what they're capable of doing in the postseason.
Yeah, and they're going to be definitely a team to be reckoned with. But that's what you want to play for. You want to play for these games that matter. That's when the Rocket League gets exciting, and I'm happy we got to watch that. GG's J Hill.
It's always exciting at the end of things, at the end of league play, but it is not the end of this stream. We still have 2 more matches coming up, one in the elite tier, and it will be going to Scorch versus Velocity, the opposite conference, and a similar situation, 6th versus 8th. Scorch are 3 games behind Velocity, both of them. It's their final series of the week, a similar situation in which Scorch, if they should sweep, they will get ahead of Velocity. And that will be very interesting to see. You'll be joined by none other, if I can get my words right, than Danny Boy and Sir Pegasus. Later on, we'll have the master matchup as well with Dominion versus Dogon. So we've got plenty more Rocket League action coming up. And if there's nothing more from you, Sir Win-A-Lot, it's been a pleasure.
Nope, great to be back, and what a great match to come back to, and can't wait to watch the next game.
Neither can I. Do not go anywhere. Don't touch that dial, because we will be right back very shortly with some more RSC action.
That I'm invincible, nobody gon' bring me down. Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still. Hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall. Fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got
me down low. When you give me that cocoa, handcuff me like Popo. I'm like, oh no, you doing it alright. You blind me like flashlight. You sexy like all night. Boy, you're so wavy, wavy. And I'm standing here like this. Meets the moon. I'm the sun in the world, I'm more. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another RSC stream. It's week 9, every game is important, and I'm here with Danny Boy.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, and it is a week to remember for, however, it could be a season to forget here. And my word, week 9 throws always a hiccup or a spanner in the works for few.
This is, I mean, we say it every week, but now we really mean it. Every single game counts, and that case is especially true for Scorch, who we will watch today, who need a sweep to even have a chance at play-ins.
Well, certainly so. A sweep would be certainly what they'd be required. We might as well break at least the statistics down from the team's perspective somewhat, because going in today, or at least in this week as well, that Scorch did have a much more favourable. You look to the left of your screen there and said 8th position. The fact that there is a sweep potential just shows you how tight this conference itself is, but it just shows you that there is a problem within the team itself here.
So much to play for, and losses not going into the favour of Scorch, obviously leading into the game, but when you see an 8th to 6th matchup, you usually have a team that clearly looks better. Not in this tier. They are so tight.
Well, certainly so tight as well too. We may as well briefly go towards the player stats, and well, where do you want to start on this one? Because by the looks of it, there is one, maybe two talking points, but I don't think we should delay much further than maybe those.
Yes, I mean, we have Spooks, your boy, on Green Phoenix. I'm sure you'll have some words about him later. Against Frank, I think this is going to be a battle between two captains, which I always love to see. A lot of assists and goal contributions in general for player Fused, whoever, who is looking to be the hero today.
Well, looking to be the hero, but by the looks of things, we do have our players ready here. So our brief predictions at that before we head to the lobby. And, well, I did say 4-0 for Scorch at one point, and I think it would be fair to say I would love to see it happen, but 2-2 would probably be my predictions yourself.
Usually I like to go for the underdog, but not today. Velocity, they need to hold the fort, and I believe they will with a 3-1 victory. Maybe having one slip, falling to the pressure, but overall, I think they're going to secure themselves this playing spot.
Yeah, a playing spot potentially on the cards. Week 9 could have tribulations, or will it be triumphs for some here? Scorch will be playing, of course, in the blue. Lotchi in the red. They went 4-0 earlier in this week. They're looking to just win at least one game to put this into bed in misery, where the others are looking for their own perfect game.
And what a poetic way to put it. Let's hope this game ends with a lovely storyline for Scorch, who they cannot afford to slip once. And when you're in week 9, the pressure is on. You have your whole season to play for. They lose even one game, not even a series, all that work, 8 weeks and a half so far of work for nothing.
Spooks moving with the challenge, and Scorch, who is looking to have that perfect game, will at least have one goal to start things off with.
And it's a long journey left to play for, but You can't complain with a start like that. I'm sure they'll be screaming in the chats, in the VCs, hyping each other up. It's just exactly what you want. Very early into the game as well. Quick confidence booster.
Certainly so, and Spook's feeling it. He's feeling it tonight here. Side post glance from that one there. Squirm by nature, and he will get the ball there as Cram downfield, and Spooks, well, he's taken control of the game. He's tipped that one well.
You could argue throw the ball away, but this, so far, it's been such a midfield battle very early in the series. One attack was all Scorch needed, but tables very much can be turned. I feel like we're in for a very, very tight series.
Potentially so, and with the battle at the mid lane, not necessarily the worst thing to play for, but well, will be certainly a thing or two to complicate the matters. It's Spooks, the captain, with goal number 2.
And Cram doesn't get the 50 he wants, and a backboard read from Squirm. Squirmed away from the backboard, and it's an open shot.
Well,
Now 2-0 down. They're not the team that has to worry as much, but this is certainly not the start you want. Plenty of time to get the game back, but plenty of time to concede even more. And there we go, Fuse making it 3-0. This is meant to be the worst team on paper. 3-0 in 2 minutes. It's looking worrying on the Velocity roster.
is it? Well, it's only game 1, and unfortunately Scorch, when they do lead, it can be impressive. It is, of course, 4 games in a set here. It's far from early and far from, of course, the days to be drawn its final conclusions. As Squirm moves that one downfield here so far with 2 minutes played. Scorch are on the ascendancy.
Velocity. Big clear, but doesn't stop the attack from Scorch. Spooks looking for the solo play, gets the flip reset, and it finds its way in. Not the connection he wanted, but a goal is a goal, and that is 4-0. Spooks taking this game by storm.
Well, he wanted to move it across here. He's asking and begging us actually to skip that one. Not the finish or the flair, but the result is what he would love here. 4 goals to the batter, and if this is the day where you have to step up as a team to show your worth, is it the true weight of salt as well too? We'll find out, of course, but 4-0, what a start.
Yes, Velocity trying to get a goal back. They want to shift the momentum. That is what Rocket League is all about. Even if you don't win this game, if you're that person with the last goal, you still have that feeling you've got the pressure on. It's a good confidence booster, and that's what I think they really need right now.
Well, speaking about things what we need here, we haven't really spoken much about Velocity. That's a different team entirely, but their opposition really hasn't got in to the swing of things. It's been pretty much, they've seen the ball but haven't done anything with it here.
And Squirm missing the ball there. There's just these few little mistakes that not really usual in this division. Elite, very high skill plays, but there's the goal. And crams it in there, and it's 4-1. A goal back, and hopefully this can be the start of some confidence.
Well, normally commentators are meant to be not biased, and I want to remain mostly so, but I hope not.
Yeah, so we keep it professional on the RSC broadcast. However, who doesn't love a good storyline? Being an underdog, trying to force through a sweep, which Scorch are in the position to do so. And it'd be a shame if they were to lose the first game. Makes our job a lot easier, keeps the excitement up for the rest of the series. As Velocity, in the last minute, I would like to say, done a lot better at pinning Scorch in their half. And it's an attack chart. Frankie Boo takes it to the corner, the bump, not getting the impact he wanted, but Squirm brings it back to the centre, but Spooks. I mean, I think that was your player to watch before the series, off stream, and he's been absolutely amazing. This game has, well, maybe I spoke too soon, Caster's curse, because Velocity have gotten a goal back, and it's over Spooks' head there. Fuse, unable to read the ball as Frankie Boo pinches it in.
2 goals lost just like that, with a minute still left under that clock here. It's still time for a mistap to once more to blunder, and we want the entertainment value. We also want the sake of the competitive nature and the beast still to be continuing here. And Scorch, I've got to be roaring down here the line here. Spooks just killing this one off, and so far Scorch has elected to kill most of the game off here for the last minute or two here, and that's a misplay. That is a deadly misplay.
And that is accuracy. Frankie Boo manages to read Spooks, who I think got a slight touch onto that, yet it still finds its way blasted into the top left corner. 4-3. It was 4-0 before. Little did we know the game was not over. Could this go to overtime?
Spooks with one shot, no with the answer, but Squirm to the back wall here, thrown into the corner here. 10 odd seconds will be approaching here. The alarm bells will be ringing, and the acceleration by both sides, and Spooks leathers it downfield. That's the by pressure and kill off. Hopefully game 1 for Scorch's sake.
The ball bounces up. This is exactly what Velocity want. It finds itself in front of a goal, and it's a save by Fuse. Gets the ball wide, and that's the win that Scorch needed to start off the series. Only 3 more needed.
Well, there we have
Danny
it.
boy, we knew this game had a lot to offer, but what a start. A 4-0 win, dwindling to a 1-goal difference. There's still so much to play for.
Certainly is, and looking at the grand scheme of things here, that Scorch getting the deficit cut away like that, most teams crumble. Generally the percentage is around about 96 and 99, give or take, on where you are on the competitive scale, with about a minute and a half left here. The fact that we were talking about an OT like that, that's a summarises Scorch, unfortunately, season. They're not good enough, it seems, to close it out here. They have to be good enough tonight here. They've got 1 on the board. They might need all 3 more.
They started off that game so strong. Within the first 2 minutes, they had 3 goals. When you're in that kind of position, overtime should never be a question. But look, we saw such a great performance from... Sorry, the names just completely slipped my mind, but Spooks stepping up for his team, and I believe it was Frankie Boo, there we go, stepping up for the other, closing the scoreline, and they'll need him if they want to even up this series score.
That will be the state of affairs if it was to be in game 2. Well, shall it be? Or will it be a comparison to a summer day here for Boob as he's walking quite freely down here? There is fuzz, and Spooks has called him off it by the looks of it, and it should have been a strong counter-attack here, but it was such a meandering sense of walk here, it was shocking to see.
Frankie Boo. And Frankie Boo tries to get the ball to Squirm. It was a great chance to cause some pressure. Cram wants to send it to Squirm, who's positioned high twice. He got his second chance, and he got his goal. Scorch, 1-0 up in the series, but all that matters is they win this game, or all their hopes are over.
Up to grab a goal. Conceding early is probably better than conceding late, but it's still pressure. It's still going to niggle on the back of your minds here, and there will be hairs at the back of your neck standing up here, because that's what stress some teams can do to you. As Fuse over to Spooks by 50, wasn't by choice. Another player up and around here. Spooks has sensed the turn here, and Fuse, he's pushed too high up due to the cut by Spooks, and that there will summarise 2-0.
And they just wanted it too bad. They wanted this goal too much, and it feels like this was a mistake waiting to happen. Within this first minute, there were some moments where you felt like the counter-attack should have happened, but wasn't capitalised on. But this time, they don't get fooled twice. They don't survive that second counter-attack. It's a great goal, and the pressure really is on.
Brooks is cut, infield pass, and where's the shot? Not delivered. And it might be Scorch not delivering the performance they have to give here. Nor one back down the line here. Frankie, with one touch into the middle, Skirm just runs away. We'll have a sideward glancing shot here. Should be an air dribble pop-up, but not delivering the mechanics required. Already 2 minutes gone. And for Scorch, 2-0 down.
Borup wants to keep this play alive, but ends up just giving it away to Cram, who's low boost and can't get a touch on the ball here. And that's a mistake in the defense, which low boost, I think, was the problem there. Not able to capitalize the pass behind Spooks. They just want a position so high right now, Scorch. They want this goal so bad. But you need to keep your fundamentals strong. Otherwise, you will not get these goals that you need.
Double commit as well. Shows you what is occurring into the minds here. If you miss passing plays and everything just crumbles away, it's requiring a clean bit of gameplay. That's pass 2. Frankie's the last one back here. Should be somebody cutting into the middle here. They want to keep the pressure alive here. 2-man stack working in favour to Scorch. Infuse out at the gameplay for now.
And we're over halfway done in this match, and it is a 2-goal difference. Now, when you get closer to the end of the game, that's when the desperation increases, but that's when you need to be even more composed. It's one of the unfortunate battles, and a double commit there just proves that this pressure is too much for them right now.
Chance going away here. Wide open net here, but Frankie decides to send it high, low boost, straight down. That's a misplay. Needed the accuracy to finish off. It's risk versus reward. Pops it up high. Under the 2 minutes now here at Scorch. An infield play. No, forced into the 50. Needs to get through, and Spooks just lancers himself around here. The cut not working from the wall either. Good demo. And it will be at least Spooks closest to the ball here eventually. But that's a poor delivery in the middle.
Scorch have had the attack, but they've lacked that killer pass. They've lacked that killer shot. It's just not been enough. They've had their chances. They've just not been able to put it away. This hasn't really felt like velocity just pinning them in their half, which, you know, the stats say otherwise, but I feel like just the shots haven't been there. They've been in the half. They just haven't done much with it.
I'd agree with you. Hasn't been used either well enough here, and that's an infield pass as well. Should have been really game, set and match here for game number 2's sake there. The Spooks will get a block into it. Will be under the minute now, and it will be goal number 3. So 1-1 in the series itself here. So it's a case of, if people are correct with certain things, maybe goal difference will be going down in the favour here, but it's whether they can play spoiler.
I mean, this is worrying. It looks like a coffin in the game and a coffin in Scorch's season. It's not what you want. Listen, Rocket League, anything is possible, but I can't say I'm confident, and that play only just proves any mistakes. They really should be 4-0 right now. I mean, they're 3-0 up, so I don't think they'll be complaining too much, but not good for the confidence.
Still be complaining either way at the goalpost on this particular instance, and just like that, 3-0. We talked about what Scorch needed to do here, and that one early goal was ultimately the downfall of Scorch here. Now they probably know that the season is done and dusted here. It's just a case on what can they do here. Will they at least end on a victory or a draw, or will it be a loss?
Well, Danny, that was just a completely different game. I feel like we weren't watching the same two teams out there. Scorch, they just lacked that killer instinct that they seem to have, especially in the first half of that first game.
I think that summarises Scorch quite perfectly well. The fact that they don't know how to play well consistently. The fact that we are looking at just a series here on its own merit here. Their opposition came back. They weren't playing badly either, they just got beat. Scorch, however, they don't know how to play in difficult situations. We saw 3 clean opportunities, 3 clean goals went in against them. and not one counter that's worth even talking about. That there is just the problem, just even on the tip of this iceberg.
It's strange because the scoreline shows such a one-sided game, and we were watching that, and it did feel like a one-sided game. However, Scorch are in their half a lot. I really do feel this. But the passes in field, maybe they were always too far back. That third man, I think the third man was their biggest problem that game. Either not being ready to go for a long shot or get back in defense, as we saw, I believe, in that second goal. It's just desperation, I think.
Certainly so, and Scorch in between all this as well too. If the respectability in the grand scheme of things, well, the goals come down to potential tiebreakers as well. They got to thump a few one here, and Fuse will be crying into sleep here. Spooks just leathering that one to the corner. That's just frustration, but that's a goal to send one through.
Scorch ready to cause chaos. They no longer can make play-ins, but a story we haven't spoken about, Thanatos have a game on Sunday against the #1 seed so far. They still have a chance for playoffs. Leading into this game, they were 1 win behind Velocity. I mean, it's unlikely, but like I love to say, you never know. When you have something to play for and the team in first place doesn't, anything can happen.
I think it would be fair to say that the experts maybe in chat here might be right, and my bit of research originally was wrong and misled a few here. There is actually a possibility of Scorch winning, but they require 3+ on the goal difference here. They're currently, at least in this game here, down by 2. That goal there at least makes it into -1 here in the grand scheme of things, so it needs to be multiple goals going in here at as much cost here. So maybe that's why in game 2 they were trying to reduce the deficit. Paired against them, unfortunately. Upfield it goes, this, and Fuse and Spooks ultimately get tangled.
Yeah, last game, maybe they knew. They played for high risk, and unfortunately it gave them a very, very low reward. But now it's their time to take this back, and it just brings me back to game 1, where they had a 4-goal. They had the 4-goal increase. They had that goal difference, and they blundered it away. So even though that was a game win, maybe it wasn't enough for their season.
Yeah, still 2 games left, and there's still plenty of time to find a few goals here, but it's just typical old Scorch here. Back in the day in different leagues when the name Scorch was around, they were not a side as an organisation that brought fear onto the pitch. Only one in their entire history comes to mind, but even still, that would have been 2018, if not a bit earlier than that, as 1 goal could have spoilt the party there.
Velocity had so much pressure in that last minute, but close-knit defense and a lot of crossbar hits, as we see another one there, prevented them from equalizing this scoreline. And Cram unable to read that pass. Frankie Boo was the player who clutched up in that first game to close the scoreline, and it's another crossbar. These shots, who put the magnet on the crossbar?
Magnet nonetheless. Fuse is up, should be bumping, and he does get the bump off, but it's a demo, and it will just be a scramble across here. Everybody drops a bit deeper back here. Fuse should be banging this one upfield as much as he possibly could here. Spooks to drop back, so it will be a stacked line here if they can get away with it. And Fuse has actually probably tangled the rotation. 2 minutes left here with 1 goal separating in the game itself, but not in terms of the season board itself.
And the tides just keep on shifting so fast right now. I feel like whoever's in possession of the ball never has enough boost to bring it forward, but these players, they're so skilled with or without boost. And Spooks tries to force one in, and Fuse manages to clean it up and make it 2-0. The goal difference, which has become their most important factor this series, is increased by the man himself. 2 goals this game, and he can save their season.
Well, that just brings it to 6-6 on aggregate here. Feels like maybe like a Champions League night, but it will just be back to -1. They need to grab another one just to tie it to the equilibrium point.
Danny, I don't think they're going to want to listen to this cast because there's a phrase you've been saying again and again. Same old Scorch. 1 minute 30 left and they've conceded, and after a kickoff. Twice after a kickoff. How has this happened? No one went to kickoff and Frankie Boo. It just seems like an open shot.
I would like to say disconnect. I would like to say a wire went out, but I'm so confused of what happened there. And what was maybe a task of getting 3 goals now has become 5. If it stays here, an OT win just to get the game record, that's still, of course, an objective at this, and it's just made this night so much more difficult. Scorch it's really like sort of Beauty and the Beast here, but it's Beauty and the Tramp almost here, and frankly, Scorch is in their own puddle right now.
I hate to say it, but the 2 goals, they're unforced errors. I don't believe that Velocity had to work too hard for their goals. For the rest of the game, they really had to fight, but it's only the mistakes that count in Rocket League, sadly.
Certainly so. And it's just a shame this is only a set of 4 games here. Would love to even go up further here, how it would eventually end in maybe just in a normal best of 5, because it still has been an intriguing game on its own regards, but the story itself probably dictating the tempo, as Fuse will be beaten here, cut out, and Spooks launches it down, so 1 touch, not a clean pass here, but nobody supporting Spooks here. They're playing for OT, and they're effectively saying, can they score 4 goals in the last remaining game? Bravery or silliness at its best.
I mean, we have seen them score 4 goals. The problem is they then went and conceded 3. So, I don't think Velocity have been set up to fear them this game, as any lead they've had dwindles fast.
For sure. The candle that was Scorch's season, it is flickering. Not been extinguished here, as Frankie 1 touchdown, and there is a Fuse, and he's ready to maybe get this one down. And it's cut out at the midline. 30 odd seconds deep in this OT here. It will be 1 touch. Frankie back around Fuse. He's into the air here. Spooks is down. Will be a volley or 50. 50 forces the play, and that will surely end things here.
Great challenge by Borup. Stopping the quick counter-attack, gave themselves some time to regroup. Now it's Spooks. The captain wants to be the hero. The pull forward's a miss by Borup, but that bump might save the day. They recovered well though, keeping the attack alive. Borup, don't miss the ball on the backboard, and made that way scarier than I felt like it had to be. And Velocity, such an aggressive attack right now. Scorch are struggling to get it out of their half. And with next goal wins, if they concede, there is no recovery.
Could be it, of course.
Mistouch. These mistouches have been so prevalent in this OT so far. No one been able to capitalize on it yet.
Still forced into the Fuse with another touch, and there it is. Goal number 3 in the game itself. The aggregate back where it needs to be.
And it's Patrick Hero Fuse. He was the person to really show up for Scorch this game and give them the 1 goal difference that they needed to take that game. Velocity now playing for a draw.
And here's where the situation really just comes down to it. The draw happens, the goal difference really doesn't come into the play of things, because there is no more games to play. Scorch has to win it, and they have to win it by a fair considerable margin. I think it's with 2 more goals. It could be potentially 3. And I'm just trying to work that out roughly correctly here before I make myself look foolish here. But that's the state of the affairs.
Danny, you've been critical of Scorch. A phrase you'd love to say again, I'd like to point out, is same old Scorch. Say you're in Spook's position, captain right now. You have to win this last game. You've been known for dropping these goal differences. What do you say to the team?
Well, I'll be just saying is don't concede in the first minute. Just sit back and just lob the ball long. Don't need to do anything foolish. Don't need to do anything silly. Because 4 goals, that's what they've got to have to keep things interesting here. It is 9-8 on aggregate on itself here, so that just shows you where the affairs is. But game 4 has, of course, enough problems to worry about here.
And talk about an uphill battle. They have not made this easy for themselves. And it really does feel self-inflicted. As good as Velocity have been, it's just been too many mistakes from Scorch. And a little breezy attempt from Frankie Boo. Can he get the second touch? So we see the mechanics come out in this final game, trying to show off, trying to keep the fingers warm, keep the pace up. And you're going to have to if you want to get 4 goals. It's a miss hit. Gets it defused. All they have to do is wait back for the clear, and there's 2 misses in the defense. I think one player playing for 50. Borup gets that high touch, but Cram is just ahead of the game there. These players read the game so well. Used once again. I must say, we were talking earlier about the third not positioning right, but I think Fuse has taken that third man role really well this game and the last. He's always been ready to clean up and go for a solo play, uses his space well, and that's what they're going to need, that pressure to stay on the other team.
There is pressure, and there is Spooks. Been cut out by Squirm. Back into middle, at least the time being. It's been prolonged. Another attempt here as Fuse moves that one to the side here. That should have been goal number 1 of a half a second, maybe earlier, but it will be Spooks just being teased with the ball this time.
That's twice he's been left alone in defense, but he's done well every single time. He's the defensive powerhouse, the biggest enemy of Scorch right now. And he's not only good in defense, he's good in offense as well. He takes it out of his corner. He's patient, he's been given so much space. Both Fuse and Spooks are back, but no one able to stop the shot.
Just like that, the complexion now is just to be spoilers to the party here by Scorch. To score that many goals, they have not been capable of maintaining that particular attribute. Spooks went for the bump, everybody scatters and Squirm. Well, he has 1 player they only really worry about. Frankie said his support, he's removed. Downfield ball, no.
I'd like to say it again, the mechanics are signing, and it's Squirm who is just causing all the issues already on 400 points, I'd like to point out. And we're only halfway through the game. Potential MVP performance from him, well, for this game alone.
It'll be interesting to see what the MVP eventually would look like as Fuse. Maybe have his say onto it, but there's 3 players here, and if a draw does end up, might be a small problem of which way it eventually goes. But 2 minutes left here. I think the series is not over in its own regards, but the playoffs is here as another shot goes on target, and Spooks can only softly get that one upfield.
Worm is so fast that ball, unable to get it on target. But a bounce from the back wall, you'd think an attack could start, but Borup got the perfect touch to slow it down and start an attack of his own. And it's a great bump from the backboard. Borup might be able to keep this attack alive. It's a bad first touch. Squirm able to battle him for it. Fuse, can he get this second touch off the back wall? No! And Spooks cannot read the miss. I feel like Borup now has taken that role of always being ready for the read. Spooks, again, I think caught a bit high on a few times, but it's hard to blame them when the first man is making misses that you're not expecting.
There's the side of the game that people will have to look at here. But that will be another time to worry about. Spooks here with a double. Will get a sans glance here. It gets tipped away here, so it was a tight save. You thought Frankie may have been prone for too long, but nonetheless getting to it. 60 seconds here for one goal.
That was great composure by Squirm on the back wall, let it bounce off the ceiling and got it out of the box, but they're able to regain very quickly, Scorch, but we're going to need, what, 4 goals within 40 seconds? It's looking unlikely.
It's improbable at this point in time. It's just now finishing off the season with a win here. And it will be Bort with one touch up. Fuse sits down deep, and it will be Spooks getting into the play here. Gets an ideal touch here, but speed's not there in Fuse. He just has to get a touch here. He's failed to do that, and it's been almost a sign card. Failed to do it, and unfortunately 10 seconds, they'll maybe force an OT here.
It's a great recovery from Fused as he looks to get a goal to take into OT. Borup keeps it high. Can they get the consolation? No. The series ends as a draw, but sadly, I don't think Scorch will be taking it as that.
Well, it doesn't feel like a draw. I think both sides will be feeling that was a loss in the grand scheme of things. One side was defending, the other side was chasing, and it's not a criticism to the RSC with the format itself. It's probably allowed this drama, but it feels like we were robbed of a winner as well on the night itself here, because that would have been intriguing on itself. But it's an ugly one to say, because we can't really sit there and say we had an answer there.
No, it felt like both teams, they just had that little thing missing today. I think both teams wouldn't mind me saying, I don't think neither played their best today. I think we saw two teams fighting not at their full potential. Maybe because it's last game of the season, nerves are high, there are playoff spots that they are fighting for. But I think it adds to the drama a little bit.
Well, certainly so. We might as well have a brief look with the series and the MVP itself based on what some might have selected or otherwise, but I don't think we can generally say that we were picking ourselves here that somebody deserved the MVP, but we might as well see the final total there, and well, based on everything else, it wasn't particularly ideal here.
And those stats are very interesting. Shots overall looking very even and saves looking very even, which, I mean, with the draw outcome, I think makes sense. But velocity, we're expected to be the better team today, so it's just what happens. It's just what happens. Field domination also fairly even. Just overall even. I just wish there was a game 5 to see who could come out on top there.
Well, it's going to be an interesting playoff and scenarios that's unfolding. Still plenty to move across. The podcast later in the week will, of course, update everything how that will go, as Squirm is currently the MVP. I must say I disagree with that personally, but I think it would be fair to say here that is pretty much all that can be said with a sort of an ugly draw, to put it kindly.
Yes, I mean, Thanatos have
ting, no skank in the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad with the baseline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skank in the rave.
We're skank in the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad with the baseline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skank in the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad with the baseline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skank in the rave.
We're skank in the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad with the baseline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skank in the rave. We're skank in the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad with the baseline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skank in the rave. We're skank in the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad with the baseline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skank in the rave.
And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chilling, kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Come Jimmy at Woodstock. Drum me around and no run forward. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep on it. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep on it. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. I am numb from the pain 'cause I am broken in two. Lost the treasure I've been keeping. Think that I'm missing you. Where did we part? Where did we break? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love gone? Tell me where to find our love. I need you, I miss our love. Come back and give me a
'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Let me go, there's no doubt. Gotta get out of this small town. You took my heart from me. Now you're everywhere I see. Set me free, let me fly. Let me find new kinds of highs. We're just wasting here, waiting for another year. We both know the score. We've been here once before. So many words unspoken. You took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait. I can still meets the moon. I'm the sun in the world, I'm more. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to the penultimate stream of RSC League Play. I am Jasper and joined with me today is the wonderful Sir Pegasus. How are you tonight?
Thank you. What a lovely introduction. I think that's my favourite one so far, and I'm very, very excited. I wasn't supposed to be here for the second game, but I've looked at the standings. This is looking to be very high quality. Master tier, first versus third. I mean, when it comes to RSC Draft League play, it doesn't get much better than this now, does it?
No, it does not get much better than this. Now, let's take a quick look at the player stats here, because you know, first versus third, these teams are going to have such a various vary in players and, you know, how well they play. Let's just have a look. Having a look on the side of Dominion, we've got Dem, Clarky, Panda, and Harvey. Very, very competitive lineup here. You know, Dem, the new sub, 4 games played, definitely trying to get them sub games in, and definitely looking strong. All of these teams are just looking very good. All the goals from Panda, third top goal scorer, sorry, in this lobby, getting outbeaten by Flo and Jazz. And Pegasus, what can you add to that?
Flo and Jazz have played 68 games together. I believe that is every single game so far. So the chemistry between them, we better see some passing plays. The captain and his messiah, it looks like. Flo and Jazz, I'll keep an eye on them.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Now let's have a look at the team standings now. Not standings, team stats. Now, just having a look, third versus first, 41 to 44. You know, this game is literally all to play for at this point in time, because one win from 4-0 sweep from Dominion sees them go straight to first place, and a draw will keep them in the same place. This can definitely verify who goes to that upper bracket spot, who gives a bye round in this. And as I look in chat, thank you very much, Conflict. They're currently second, so we're first versus second, actually. As a, you know, Dominion 2-2, and that stat has not gone through. And what do you see here, Pegasus, that can definitely weigh in here?
What I find interesting is the stats overall very equal, but the goals for and goals against. Goals for much lower for Dominion, goals against also much lower for Dominion. So Dominion used to a lower scoring game, Dogan the complete opposite, but they have that spot top of the table. That hopes will get a very attacking game.
Indeed, indeed. Now, coming back to the desk, coming back to the two casters here, I have a question for you, Pegasus. It's time for predictions. Who do you think is gonna take this series?
This is my favourite part of the stream, the predictions. Now, I'm gonna go for a sweep, and I'm going to go for Dominion. Second place, currently looking to fight the big boys. One of the final games of the season, week 9. If there's any time to show yourself and set yourself up well for playoffs, it's now. 4-0.
Oh, very respectable indeed. But for me, I'm going to sway it a little bit differently here. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Both of these teams are just so dominant in what they do. You know, second versus first at this point. There is only one game between them, and a draw just keeps it that nice level-headed fort. Keeps it to that one each, if I'm thinking correctly. I don't know if my brain is working there, but I predict 2-2 here.
Now, I just want to take a look at the chat. An 82% prediction rate for Dogan right now. Maybe mine isn't updating, but that is a very, very clear favourite from the chat. And that is not the way I was looking at it.
Definitely. Now, just looking at the teams, people are saying they're ready, and we will get underway as soon as all 6 players join in the team. Got ready from both sides, and players are starting to join now, waiting on Panda. Now, in the game, the timer starts. Kickoff is the most interesting point, and we see it go into the side of Dominion here. Early starts. Clarky and Jazz clashing heads at 50. That ball flies into Dominion's half, but it's a lovely save. And looking at the start of this game, pressure is definitely going to be the key factor that's going to take these two teams to see who wins. As that's Clarky now delaying this touch. Ball gets cleared away, and only 30 seconds in, and already some very nice back-to-back action. Pegasus, you know, I hate to ask the question, but game 1, who do you think is going to be the one to take it?
Listen, I predicted a sweep. I'm sticking with that prediction. Dogan all the way. Now, I'd like to point out that there is, in fact, a Merc on the pitch. Harvey for Dominion. Rocking a car that you typically don't see too much.
Well, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful cars in the game, in my opinion. We need to see it more often in the RSC. And we see a beautiful 50, and that's Flo now taking up the field. Harvey trying to keep that mid-game action alive, trying to keep that field domination. That could be a shot, but it's just a lovely clear. Jazz, Clarky butting. That's Bossy. Bossy go for the double. Hits the crossbar. No double. That's been denied. As we now see Panda and Harvey passing with each other, keeping that ball play up, keeping that midfield action in the no man's land alive. Bossy trying to get that clear. Doesn't get it though, as Panda keeping that ball in the upper third. Jazz, lovely clear. That's Bossy. Bossy for a shot, but doesn't. A lovely clear. And you know, we're nearly halfway through this game and we've still not seen a goal. And I wouldn't expect that for the master tier of RSC. What about you, Pegasus?
Dominion really looking to break that backboard, but Dogan, they're not letting it happen. And just like you said, no goals yet. 0-0, 2 minutes in the game. First versus second, master tier, perfect, Rocket League. This is what you come here for. This is what RSC is all about. 6 players showing their absolute best. What a way to end the stream today.
100%. I am with you on that one. The absolute way to end the penultimate stream for RSC, if I do say so, as Flo now coming on the wall. Harvey on the ceiling, going down. Jazz now. Jazz goes for a flick to the middle. That's Bossy. Bossy with a shot. Hits the post. Now getting cleared away. Panda to Harvey. Harvey to the middle. Clarky just playing a bit passive, playing back. And that's Harvey. Bit of a missed touch there. Could have been a goal, but there was no clinicality from the player as that ball now roams to the middle. But Jazz, no stranger to it. The captain now going for it. Not going to happen. That's Clarky. Clarky down to the middle. That's cleared away quite nicely. 2 minutes left on the clock. And we're still in a deadlocked game. Still 50-50, I say. But that's a lovely touch. That's on the backboard and it gets cleared away. And Pegasus from this game, you know, what can these teams do differently to see a breakthrough perhaps?
I mean, this is end to end. I feel like it's just going to have to go down to a mistake. Honestly, I can't see where that final piece of the puzzle is. Both teams just playing so well. Defensively, offensively. Dominion, I feel like I've been the closest to open the scoring. And there we go. Clarky reading that backboard so well. No one's there to challenge him. Bosu unable to recover himself off the backboard. That one's got to hurt.
I 100% agree with you. You know, a bit of a missed touch there from Flo, and it just goes straight into the hands of Clarky, and that leads to the goal. But now, that could have been a goal, but it was just a misflip. And now, with such short time, 60, 70 seconds, sorry, on the clock, and we could see something else happen off the backboard. Harvey, but Flo is there. Panda now. What are we going to see? Jazz. Now, not much happening. That's Harvey and Panda very close together. That's Clarky again. Shot goes on, but it gets saved away. We see a rule 1. We're in a 2v2 now. And now, Bossy and Clarky butting heads once again. Harvey taking it to the corner, playing it safe. Harvey, you know, perfect read there, as now pressure is flipped. Harvey with a shot. Harvey hits the post, and this could be bad. Clarky needs to get the scraps back. Needs to get back. 30 seconds on the clock. And we are seeing such intense action, Pegasus, and I can't believe it. I'm on the edge of my seat. We're in such short time and anything can happen still.
2v2, you lose that last line of defense. Those mistakes, they're even harder to bail out now. Harvey, no one boost, has to recover himself well on the corner. That bump, however, saving them possession as Clarky tries to make it awkward. Bosu is thrown off by it. It stays in the corner. Harvey waiting for a misplay from Jazz, who stays close to the ball despite the low boost. These players so well in every situation at keeping it up. Bosu, he has one aim, take it into the other goal. Dominion have the entire floor to play for.
Oh, will they give it up and it drops? Oh, that was intense. That was the longest I've seen regulation time in RSC. That was a very, very good game, and the chat is going wild for Clarky right now. Everybody coming out for Clarky right now, and rightly so, because what a player, getting a goal and getting a save to keep his team in it. You know, doing the most good ball touches, very conservative of how it's played, and that's 1-0 in the series to Dominion. And Pegasus, just looking at this game, how is this? Do you think this is going to affect Dogon's mental at all?
I mean, Dominion, as close as the scoreline made it look, they did have the most chances. They had that field domination, and they're looking so good. Overall, the quality remained high. It was just when that pressure comes, you've got to break eventually. Dogon need to get some more possession in this next game if they want to bring this back.
100%. And right now, just to keep you guys informed in the chat, as it stands, Dominion and Dogon are actually tied for wins now. They are both tied for first. This is an all-deciding series in RSC right now, because second place in standings, Iovi from Sistema Solar Estate, they don't have any more games. So this game means everything for first place, as we see the kickoff, a good start for Dominion as they get that ball, they clear it forward. Very awkward save from Jazz, and that's Clarky again! Clarky once more, showing why he is the MVP of Master right now, showing why he is an all-intensive player as he gets the goal in 10 seconds.
And that's Jazz not getting that clearance he wants. When you play for the pinch, they can be so hard to control. Wanted it across goal, it's ended up right into the box. And if there's a man you don't want ready to finish an easy shot, it is Clarky. And he's proven that this series. Jazz, however, starting an attack in bottom. Double commit required to stop him. Oh, and the attack continues.
Yeah, this is the Master tier, you know, this is what you expect. Attack after attack, unrelenting pressure. They need to have that pressure, though, if they want to be able to get them goals, because as we saw in the first game, that was nearly a really bad mistake. But as we saw in the first game, you know, one bad mistake leads to a goal, and then it's deadlocked for the rest. And right now, it's looking quite similar. Clarky there, clearing up the scraps in the defense. We're only a minute in, and right now I'm just seeing a deadlocked game. After that first goal, not much has happened, but that's Harvey hitting the post. Clarky once more to get the second goal.
Is it too early to give him the MVP, Jasper? He has played incredible this series already, cleaning up when it matters most, and the defense, they didn't read that bounce off the back wall. A mistake that we saw in the last game comes back to bite them. It's not often you see a mistake in the Master tier. However, when you do, it's usually why the goals go in.
Oh, you are more than correct, you know. Oh, we nearly see a third! Panda! Oh, you need to be scoring them. You're only 2-0 up. It's never safe in the Master tier, because we see a counter-attack. Jazz and Flo linking up, and that is now 2-1. What a play from Jazz and Flo.
And this is the duo we were talking about before the game. They played every single game together. Flo clutched up in the defense, had to have such good composure and kept himself ready for the air dribble attack where Jazz free jumped for him. I mean, we like to call it chemistry, boys. And in the Master tier, it looks that much more impressive.
100%. Lovely bump. Bossu to Clarky. They don't want to give Clarky any room. Is that a goal? What a save from Jazz. Oh my word. You can't make that save up. That keeps them with a fighting chance in this game. Another one from Jazz. Jazz is clutching so much right now. Keeping his team with the scraps. Pulling the strings. Leaving them with more than enough chance and opportunity. The midfield play right now. We are seeing such intensive play. End to end. Ping-ponging it. And that's Flo and Jazz. Once more, their chemistry is just there again, and it's now 2-2.
Jazz, that recovery was master level. That first touch keeping it tight as he went on the wall dash, and then pre-flip read off the back wall to get the pass in. I think Jazz is listening to our comms. He heard me say Clarky deserves MVP, and he says no.
Indeed, he does not agree with what we've said. He does not agree with it. He is scrapping for his own game, but that's Harvey now. Harvey and Boss clashing heads once more, and that's Flo. Flo taking a shot, but Panda's there just to clear it off the backboard. Reads it again, tries to get a pinch, but doesn't go their way. Jazz now, Jazz keeping it going. Jazz tries to get it to the middle, does not have it. And Clarky now, fabled Clarky, one to watch this game. Not being able to get much. Harvey going to the side. Whoa, we nearly see a beautiful read. Doesn't come to play though. Jazz to Flo. Flo to the middle. 50, Bossy. 1 minute 50 on the clock, and Pegasus this game so much closer than the last game. So much more action, and I'm on the edge of my seat.
An interesting stat I'd like to point out, Dogan, 2 shots, 2 goals. However, interestingly, none of those shots credited to Jazz, who does have a goal this series.
Very, very, very interesting.
It hasn't told the full story, however, because I believe this has been a very close game. The Master Tier, I think all the fight has just been in the midfield, these 50s. It's just been going back and forth, And both teams, I feel like they've been holding their breath. It must be so hard to come in these conditions as Jazz tries to show off his mechanics, but is defended so well by the Dominion defense.
Incredible defense. We hear the buzzer that tells us there's only 1 minute, and that could have been a goal, but it's a lovely interception, lovely cut of the rotation from Clarky. And this Master Tier, you expect these players to know when to cut and know when to rotate properly, and they are doing just that, because no man is messing up. These guys are all in their fabled position. That's Flo to Jazz, that's a shot, and it doesn't come to the line. It's Bossy to give them the lead with 35 seconds, a different phase putting in the action. It's now Bossy getting on the board.
And that is a patient offense. And ball initially came in for Flo. He didn't choose to take it, and then got the recovery onto the wall. And that was the better choice to keep the attack going. They know when to commit, and they know when to save their position. And that save of position is what got them that goal in the end. Panda didn't get the clear he wanted, and is going out to Jazz. He wanted to pass, but I don't think there was enough communication. He didn't know where his teammates were. Jazz hits the ball high. Clarky pops it up, trying to give his teammates time to regroup. And it's Pandir on the attack. They need a goal to keep the game alive. 5 seconds left. And possession goes to Dominion. This is what chat wants. 0 seconds. Harvey off the ceiling, and it's not enough. Dogan make it 1-1.
Dogan making it 1-1, but Dogan also, that means your prediction no longer comes to light anymore, as Dogan now have a game in their grasp. They just keep clutching on to their 1-goal lead, and just looking, everybody on Dogon did something. Everybody on Dogon had a goal. Everybody on Dogon was doing something, and Dogon, they need 1 more to lock first place. They need 1 more to keep that bye round in this conference. They need it more than anybody else. They keep clutching at it, and they can do it. The scrappy gameplay that we're seeing, the nonchalant gameplay, it's just beautiful, and it's what you want to see. And you know, Pegasus, is there a sense of worry for Dominion at this point, because they've been clapped back a tiny, and that could show maybe a relapse in their confidence?
There was one stat that I think is going to be in the back of their mind leading into the next game, and that was 0 total saves. Clearly an issue in the defense. They're fighting well in midfield, and they are preventing a lot of shots, but when their shots do eventually come, they seemingly just can't stop it. And actually Dogan, a lot in that game, missed a lot of chances. Both teams missing a lot of chances, which you don't come to expect. Maybe it's nerves. They know this is the first place, second place matchup. This is where all the bragging rights come into play, and seeding is on the line.
Indeed, seeding definitely on the line, and Jazz and Flo! Once again, we keep on talking about their chemistry, and once again, a beautiful pass. Panda just unable to get that touch, and it's now 1-0.
I believe that was a bump on the goal line by... I believe that was a bump on the goal line by Bossu. Done to Harvey, who was rocking the Merc. A big target exploited.
Indeed,
Jazz
yeah.
Trying to keep the attack. Finds it in the corner, but doesn't get a touch. He wants another bump on Harvey, who cannot escape the physicality so far in this game. And Jazz and Flo, they've been all our talks today. And Jazz and for a play off a ceiling. Panda get to clear, trying to not be on the receiving end of clip of the week. As Jazz gets another chance, and it's another goal. Incredible, this series. I mean, just incredible. That's the only word you can use to describe him. Maybe clinical.
They are doing the work. They are putting in the work needed. Jazz and Flo once more. Incredible duo now. Harvey on the sidewall, getting ready to read Bossu. Does so. That hits the crossbar, drops straight down. Clarky, Panda with an unfortunate backflip. And now, Flo, are we going to see a clip of the week? No, Harvey denies. And now, Jazz coming down. It's going to be Bossu on the ball. Bossu going down. Jazz with a lovely touch. But it's Panda trying to clean up them scraps. Panda unable to. Flo now in the air. Flo gets a reset, goes low. Bossu is so awkward. They need to sort their rotation. They need to clear it out. And a lovely bump. And now, you know, just trying to keep that ball out. Jazz to Bossu. Bossu back up to Jazz, but Jazz just doesn't have the boost. With a shot, Jazz to Flo off the crossbar. And now Panda is there to try and clear that ball away. Flo to Bossu, Bossu to the back wall, Bossu with a shot, and it just doesn't go in. We've got 3 minutes left, and honestly, right now, it's just looking like Dogon's game. Dogon, they win this, and they've secured their first position. And they, ooh, what a save from Harvey. 2 minute 50 on the clock, and serve Pegasus. This game is even more intense, I feel.
It's interesting. It feels like Dominion are just playing goal line defense. They're giving them so much space in the corners and on the wings, and Flo has been taking the opportunity to get some of the mechanics out. But then once it gets too close to the goal line, that's when they've been clearing it. But the pressure, when you play like that, you just can't stop it. And Bossu, like I said, keeping it up, they need to play more aggressive in these corners. You can't give them this space, and this is why. Panda makes a mistake, and that's his first mistake in a while, and Bossu capitalizes. They made the job just too hard for themselves.
Yeah, they are overcomplicating the game a little bit too much, and Dogon, they're just playing simple Rocket League right now, and it's working a charm for them. That's all Dominion need to do. Play some simple Rocket League, and it will go more their way. Like Clarky, obviously going for that ceiling, and that's Bossu! A lovely shot, and it's just such an awkward net for them. Clarky just having to try and scrappily go. See, Bossu now. Bossu takes it up lovely, and now Jazz is there. Jazz for a double touch doesn't come to light. 1:50 on the clock, and ball just goes out. Pegasus, what can Dominion do differently now?
I mean, I think it is as simple as go to the ball, just start to get a little bit more aggressive, and goals will come. Panda, it's maybe the start of something special in this series.
Maybe indeed, you know, Panda, very lovely from Panda, just manages to 50 that ball in, and it could be the start of a breakout for Dominion, hopefully, because they need this win if they want to try and get that first place. And Pegasus, I mean, I kind of want them to, because Dogon is such a formidable opponent, and I do love an underdog story, if I'm honest.
Oh, I just love a close game. The tighter the scoreline, the more entertaining the series, in my humble opinion. But Jazz looking to ruin this, but Panda, in the way, the goal scorer, for Dominion this game, hoping to start another attack and maybe grab his second. And in the long-term plan, take this to overtime. Harvey finds himself in the corner, very composed, keeps it slow, but Bosu ready to capitalize. Here's the ball back. Jazz has a lot of space, and that has just been, I think, the winning factor for Dogan. They've been given so much respect, so much space in attack this series. You've seen the mechanics come out. They've been going for a lot of flip resets, a lot of these backboard plays, and in Dominion, maybe inviting a little too much pressure. But listen, I'm a challenger. What do I know?
Oh, we see one back. Harvey puts it in the net, and 19 seconds, there's more than enough time. But surely not. Surely Dogon just keep their grasp on this game. Surely Dogon just keep it going and they keep this game in their grasp, because if they manage to throw this game and let it go, it's just going to be such a shame. And that's Clarky now. Bosu taking it out. Harvey getting 50'd. And now that ball is up. Panda going for a double! What a save, Jazz! Delaying it so nicely, not panicking at all. With no time left. Regulation time. Is it over? We will see Harvey keep that ball up. Harvey still going. That ball is still in the air. Panda trying to do anything. Bosu sending it to the corner, and the ball drops down, and Dogon take game 3, and they secure their first place.
These 0 seconds have been so exciting this game. Oh, I need a breath, Jasper. Chat, take this time between games to take yours. What a series. What a series. 2-1 for Dogan.
Dogan, they're just doing so well. Looking at the stats, you know, Flo, the clinical assister, 100% goal participation, just doing everything, putting that graft in, keeping that midfield play up, and it's working out so well. You've got Jazz being the one to score the goals and get the saves, being a rotational king, and then Bosu just being there all the time, you know, the reliant second to third man as well. And Dominion, you know, they're doing well as well. They are not, you cannot fault Dominion, but they're just missing out when they give too much respect. And it just leads them to go down the rabbit hole of just dropping points and dropping goals, unfortunately. And now it's just going to be about closing these gaps down and losing the respect that they are giving as we head into game 4. Beckwith Park Midnight, a beautiful map. 6 players in the lobby, 6 cars ready to go. And 3, 2, 1, and take it away, Pegasus.
Jazz starts the kickoff with the advantage, but Clarky gets pulled back, tries to go for a flip reset, but I mean, it's just an aerial battle, apparently. This is what Master can bring. Their control is just so good. Dominion putting on that early pressure, just as they did in that last series. That's not what you want. You don't want a repeat. If you were captain, this is my favourite question to ask leading into game 4. What are you saying, Jasper?
Oh, well, if I'm the captain, it's just like, you just have to tell them to do their best. No mistakes now. This is all or nothing for, especially for Dominion, because they can't get first place now, but they can keep second place. All they need to do is get a win in their hands, and it's just how it started. This series, 46-45 it would be at that point. And, you know, I'm all here for it. Hopefully they can just secure a win. But looking at the way that this game's going, they are stuck in their half. They are not able to do what they want. They are not getting the options that they need, and they just need to clear that ball out. Harvey now to the middle, but Bosu's there. Bosu instantly. Are we going to say flip reset? We do, but it just doesn't come to light, and that's Flo absolutely crushing Harvey's attack. But now Clarky to Panda to Clarky. That's a whiff you don't want to see. That's not Master Tier level. That is not what you want to see for Dominion when they need goals, and Flo takes it low. Jazz! Did I just see a bump from Jazz as well? Oh my word, that was perfect. Wow.
And that is the power of the counter-attack. The transitions are just so fast, especially in this tier. Blink and you'll miss it. Blink and the scoreline will change. Here we are, a double fake kickoff. Clarkey brings it wide to Harvey, who doesn't get the read. And possession looks like it should be given away, but no one on the Dogan side goes for it. Still, they end up having possession here. The bounce off the corner looks like it was in Panda's favour, but he was beaten to the ball still. The recoveries are just so impressive. Panda, these close touches, they really love to do this in the air. Keep it tight, direct their 50s. They've got great chemistry. They know where everyone's going to be. And that touch to the backboard, he knew where Harvey would be. He knew he'd be ready, and he knows that this man will never miss a shot like that. 1-1, the game continues.
1-1, incredible from Harvey, keeping them in with a chance of getting the draw. But Jazz is not going to let that slide. Instantly, Harvey there now. Flo with a lovely little touch, but Bosu with a lovely touch as well, just redirecting it that tiniest bit, and now it's Jazz throwing themselves at that ball. Lovely pinch, Clarkey. Now Harvey trying to get a read, doesn't come to light. Panda to the mid, but it's now Bosu solo playing, pinching it with Clarkey, and that's just trying to keep that ball in the hub of Dominion, trying to build that pressure and just mount a threat, and Clarkey still doing so. Lovely touch from Clarkey. Clarkey building up, but gets demoed by Jazz with only 2 minutes left already. Game is flying by. Harvey going for a redirect. Clarkey getting bumped again as Jazz now flipping that pressure. Flo not gonna go down to the middle. Lovely demo, keeping them in this game. And now Clarkey trying to take that ball irresponsibly, I'd say. Had the other teammates in availability there, but went himself. And now Harvey on the wall. A minute 40 left on the clock. 100 seconds. A shot and it's at the crossbar. Pegasus this game. I mean, I've said it every game, but this is, game 4 is the closest game by far.
I love this dynamic that Dogan play with. They typically have Jazz and Flo positioning so high, doing their connection, and Bosu is always ready as third man. I feel like most of the time he is that last man back. He's composed, he keeps it tight, and when he's needed, he will strike. And Harvey, that was his chance to strike as he gets a shot on there, and Harvey looks like he did the defensive job for Dogan for a second there. Clarkey trying to get the ball back mid. Next goal looking like they will win. I don't see 2 more goals happening in this series, Jasper. It's OT or bust.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know. We have seen many goals in little a time in the RSC and in every tier as well. We've seen massive throws, and that's a low shot from Harvey. Coming out, Clarkey now not getting what is wanted. Harvey going for a reset when not needed. Just these mechanics that shouldn't be coming out when they are. Maybe it's something else, I'm only rival. I don't know much about the mechanics that they're going to do and why, but it just seems silly that they're doing them. Now, Harvey and Bosu 50ing in air. Panda getting a clear. Flo now. Flo not going in. That would have been a heartbreaking goal to concede. Such short time, Flo. Oh my god. We're in the last 5 seconds and the action is just right. Reset, but Harvey says no. Demo, and we are in overtime.
Oh, master tier. I said it once, I'll say it again. First place versus second place. A tight game going to overtime. I mean, Jasper, week 9. This is my favourite part of the season. Not as a player, let me assure you, not as a player, but as a spectator, as a content, really, that's how it's going to end. That's how it's going to end. A defensive mistake, and it's left completely open for Jazz.
A defensive mistake from Clarkey. Just sees that ball soar into the net. Extremely unfortunate from them, but it's what happens. It happens. I mean, you can't be upset with a 1-3. It's not a sweep. And Dominion, keep your head up high. You've got playoffs to worry about now. You've got your next shot at it. Playoffs is your goal. And now, I mean, looking at it, we've got 2 more things to look at. The overall series stats per team. and how it looks for an MVP. And just really quickly, who do you think was MVP this series?
I mean, Jazz and Flo, the dynamic duo we saw going into it, it's so hard to pick between them. Personally, I think Jazz may have just about taken it, but I think there's going to be a very small amount of points in between them. I'm guessing about 200 maybe. Even that
Oh.
could be too much.
Very, very close. And I'd have to agree. I think it's going to be Jazz as well. But Mr. Streamer behind the scenes, let us have a look at the overall standings for teams if we've got them available for the series. My brain just had a moment. We do indeed. Having a look. Dominion 1 to 3, 5 to 8 goals. There was barely any goals compared to shots for both teams. 1 in 3 goals Dominion scored, and I don't even about 1 in 3 for Dogon as well. Perfect for my maths. And, you know, they both did really well. Can't be upset at all at how this game panned out. 50-50 ball possession and just barely 48-52 field domination really says how close this game was. And let us see who was the MVP this series.
I cannot wait. And I think those stats before really did the talking. So what a close game this is. And MVP goes to Jazz. 8 shots, 4 goals, 1,664 points in 4 games. It's about 415 odd average per game, if my maths serves me right. It's just ridiculous. And I mean, 4 goals with 8 shots, 50% goal conversion, and 6 saves. This is not just a man carrying the offense. He was there in the defense as well.
Definitely. Just such a key takeaway. Jazz was not to be undermined this series. Had a bad first game and just got straight back into it. And it was a beautiful game, if I do say. Very entertaining to watch. And people, thank you so much for sticking out. If you watched all 3 series, or if you just came for this series, thank you for coming by and showing some love to the beautiful players of RSC. We appreciate you coming out and seeing and watching us cast and watching the players play so much. We have one more stream left this week. We have our Sunday stream, and it is going to be an intense last series battles for each team. We have just taken a look at the 3 teams. We've got a prospect, a challenger, and a prospect game. Tomfoolery Echo. We've got Mischief Shrine, and we've got Mosaic Tartarus for on Sunday. But thank you for coming out to watch us. Thank you. And if Pegasus has nothing else to say, we will see you on Sunday for another RSC League Play stream.
Thank you, chat. See you on Sunday.